Hey everybody, Bob MacManaman, Arizona Republic and azcentral.com, joined by colleagues Kent Somers and Jose Romero. Guys, how are you this morning?
Good morning.
Hey, doing well.
Good to see you. We're here to talk about the Cardinals and the Eagles game on Sunday at State Farm Stadium. Eagles, as we all know, are the only undefeated team left in the league at 4-0. Cardinals are probably lucky to be where they are at 2-2. Eagles have a big game coming up a week from now against the Cowboys, and everybody's going to be watching that game. Is this a potential trap game for the Eagles, Jose?
I don't think so. I mean, you can argue about the caliber of opponents that they've played so far, but 4-0 is pretty impressive no matter how you look at it. So I'm sure they're going to be eager to come out here and, continue their winning ways and not overlook an opponent whatsoever. I mean, it's the NFL. Crazy things happen every week, and if you overlook somebody, you're bound to get beat. So I think they're going to come out here and look to go 5-0, and the chances look pretty good in their favor, I think.
Kent, the Eagles have not won here in this stadium, and they haven't won in Arizona since 2001. And yet, they're the talk of the league right now. But Arizona's had this team's number. I'm not saying that means anything. Does it mean anything?
No, I don't think it does.
Of course not. Why do they bring it up?
Things change all the time. I mean, that's really interesting. I think what does mean something is the Cardinals have is it 7-game losing streak at home?
They do.
Yeah, and they've been saying, hey, that's it doesn't carry over to this year. That's last year's team that did the most of that. We played 2 really good teams at home this year, and the Chiefs and the Rams, et cetera, et cetera. But it's obviously a trend, and I think that's what the Cardinals should be worried about is trying to get a win at home for the first time in about a year.
I agree. And I will say this, if they happen to lose to the Eagles this week, it'll be a calendar year since they have won a game at State Farm Stadium. And that's pretty bad. Moving on to maybe keys of the game. I'm going to tell you one of mine. There's so many facets I think you could go in this game, but Philly's defense is doing it like gangbusters with everybody. They got 5 guys with multiple sacks. They lead the league at 16 sacks. Arizona last in the league with only 4. I think if they can't block these guys, and they like to bring safeties in for extra blitzers, it's going to be a long, long day for Kyler Murray. And it could be one of those days where, he finally got hit, and he got hit hard. And that's my biggest concern for the Cardinals in this game. What's a key game to you, Jose? Key part of the game?
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have some really good pieces around Jalen Hurts. I mean, obviously he's a dynamic athlete at quarterback. But you look at just some of the guys around him, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, 2 pretty young receivers who are still, haven't reaching their prime. Miles Sanders is running the ball really well. They just have a really balanced offense. They throw to the tight ends a lot. Dallas Goedert, one of them. So they just seem to have really good balance offensively, and that's the Cardinals haven't the defense is kind of bent but not broken. It's going to be a challenge for sure. I mean, this is going to be one of the best offenses I think that they've seen.
What do you think, Kent? Key to the game for you?
Yeah, I agree with what you guys have said. I think Kyler Murray's got to have a huge day, and to do that, they've got to be able to protect him. And the Eagles force a lot of turnovers. I think opponents. I think they've got like 5 interceptions and 5 fumbles. They don't turn it over as much. I think early the Cardinals. We say this every week. They got to get off to a better start. I think that's going to be the key. Converting 3rd downs early may be the most important thing to watch for the Cardinals, because if they don't do that, they're going to fall behind a really good Eagles team that's just going to grind them down for the rest of the game.
I totally agree. I think we're all going to be unanimous here. Prediction time, I'll start. I think the Eagles win, but I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think it's 24-20. They let the Cardinals stay around it, but only because the Cardinals have to climb back into it. 24-20 Eagles. What do you got, Kent?
Man, I get this gnawing feeling, like this gut feeling that I should pick the Cardinals. That the Eagles are they're due for a clunker, and that they're gonna lose. And then I start looking at stats and lineups and how they've played, and I thought,
Great.
you're an idiot, Summers. What are you thinking? So I'm gonna go with my brain. I think there's gonna be low scoring too, like every game in the NFL seems to be these days.
Right.
I think it's gonna be 24-17 Eagles.
Jose.
The Cardinals defense has done really well the last few weeks, keeping the team in the game, at least giving them a chance. So I'm going to continue to give them credit for that, and I think they're going to come out and be able to at least hold Philadelphia to some extent. Not all the way, and not enough for their offense. However, I think the Eagles win it 27-21.
All right, there you have it. Make sure you read all of us and everyone else at AZ Central Sports. And check us out in our game coverage the rest of this week and into the weekend.